The spy from Team Fortress 2 is the most elusive class of them all, capable of disguising as the enemy, instantly killing anyone at any time, and escaping and maneuvering around the map while being invisible. He is a popular choice for many new players, but not without incredible difficulty to master. His loadout consists of a revolver, knife, watch, sapper, and disguise kit that all have their strengths and weaknesses, besides the disguise kit and sapper. Plus, the unlocks you can get for spy make it quite difficult to discover which weapons and utilities are best for spy. Many have asked what knife is best, and the two weapons we're going to look at are the kunai and the stock knife. These two weapons have been a super controversial topic to talk about in the TF2 community, and the debate about which one is best hasn't really been settled yet. So today, let me see if I can help push this debate along. As per usual, these videos are for entertainment and mostly for a good time, as well as educating some newer players. So if I say something you really don't like, then let me know nicely down in the comments and I can address it to the best of my knowledge. Anyways, let's get into some facts about each weapon and why people like them. So right off the bat, we can see that the stock knife is just an average butterfly knife that can instantly kill someone from the back. No other gimmicks. It starts you off with a base health of 125 and doesn't add or take away from your health. Now, analyzing the kunai, it starts you off with 70 health and takes the enemy's health on backstab. So the trade-off is that when you backstab someone with the kunai, you get to take their health, whatever they have left, and the stock knife, well, just kills them and then you die after to a pyro. And for this video, these two stats are really going to be what makes whichever knife better. Because you start off with 70 health with the kunai and are forced to go into the heat of battle with nothing but a sharp toothpick and slightly more than half your base health, which is 125. Upon backstab, you get anywhere from 75 to 210 health back from that victim. That health isn't permanent, however. It depletes, or as Valve likes to say, decays. Meaning the overheal will disappear until you are back to 70 HP. Now, this decay isn't as bad as a Medi Beam's decay because the medic can only overheal Spy 35 extra health points with the kunai. But with Spy, you can get 140 health points in overheal by the kunai, which takes longer to decay because he has more health. So it takes longer to get to 70 rather than being overhealed by a medic at 105 HP. For reference, the decay rate is roughly 2.3 health per second. That's a lot of numbers I just spewed out, so try to keep up with me. I'll do my best to make this as organized as possible. Next up is survivability. This part is going to be really hard to do because it all depends on the player. Because right out of the gate, people would assume you could survive better with stock rather than the kunai, which is honestly fair, and it all depends on the player. In my opinion, if you're able to at least get one backstab every life, then that could prove you have a way better survivability with the kunai than with stock, because with 210 HP, you can take way more hits than the stock knife, right? You're basically a soldier with an insta-kill mechanic, but if you cannot guarantee a backstab every life, it may be harder to use the kunai, because you are one shot to essentially any weapon in the game. I'm not saying bad players use the knife, not at all. If anything, I personally feel like the stock knife at times can have a higher skill ceiling than the kunai. Because you are so fragile, so it essentially rewards you for playing smart and good position with the kunai might not sometimes. So it all depends on the player. And even that is hard, because there could be good and bad times to use those weapons. But let me give you a couple of scenarios that can help clear this section up. You're playing payload and you are on defense, and you're currently using the stock knife. You see a pyro whose back is turned to you. You go for the backstab and make it, but then without much health, you're gunned down by a scout, and now you, the notorious spyman with only 125 HP, now gets obliterated because you have no health to get away. And you may be thinking, oh Kraken Ball, why can't you go to the cart where you can just do pickoffs? Because the important players are the ones capturing the objective. Those are the ones that need to die. Trading a spy death for a heavy death works in your team's favor, but would be better if you survived. Obviously, doing pickoffs is totally fine, but you know, if you could stop the other team from, capturing the objective, that would work better too. Alright, now let's see how the kunai compares. So I jump off this cliff in Assassin's Creed this heavy and I escape from the two pyros. Now before you comment, the kunai clips was unfair compared to the stock knife clip, but that's the point. Let me show you some raw clips of me trying to get a backstab and get away with the kunai. So paranoid. Look at me, I play the video game. Okay, I'm gonna get some lunches. No! See? I am genuinely infuriated. Like, it's so hard to approach the cart on only 70 HP or less. They kill you instantly. Like, these clips, I was so mad. Like, it wasn't even funny. Like, I love the kunai. Personally, I use it the most because I do like the health on kill. But it's so painful because 70 HP is just, oh, I was just so mad. I was just really, really mad. So I guess, yeah, the stock knife I really enjoyed using more, trying to get these clips. Obviously, don't take my anger too seriously. I'm sure my neighbors probably heard me. But honestly, using the kunai is super fun. And a lot of that was just for example, so you can see the frustration it is to try and get backstabs that are people just surrounding the cart. But yeah, let's move on. Another quick segment would be about loadout synergy with these two knives. So this is where we'll briefly talk about the other weapons and utilities in Spy's arsenal. So I think that these knives can be very interchangeable between many different loadouts, but the Deadbringer I guess just keeps you alive more, so adding it to whatever knife is good, but just talking about the Deadbringer just makes me super sick. I'm sorry, I don't like it, it feels cheap, and it doesn't really matter what revolver and sabre you use with it, so they both really work well, I guess. You may have seen some competitive spies and wonder what knife they would use between the two and how effective are these two knives. Let's assume that in competitive, your disguise kit will hardly ever fool anyone, so they'll shoot you as soon as they see you, but securing a kill in competitive is the most important. So really, what is the best for securing a kill? I personally use the kunai because as long as the enemy team is distracted, I should be able to get a kill, and with the health boost, I might be able to get another kill. But if I get a backstab with the knife, and I might die right after. It comes down to a preference thing in the end. They both have their ups and downs, but when I play casual, I normally see spies using the kunai actually rather than stock. When it comes to competitive, I've noticed that the players use stock weapons more than the other weapons. I find that to be quite normal because you can't go wrong with stock. Stock weapons are honestly going to be the best overall for the most part, but this all comes down to you. But before we end off the video, let's go over some frequently asked questions I predict in the comments. For example, is the kunai better for more aggressive approaches to the enemy team, and is the stock knife better for stealthier playstyles? In my opinion, I personally believe that the kunai would be better because of the fact that the health on kill mechanic makes it so you can play riskier. So basically the kunai rewards you for making riskier plays by giving you more health, and the stock knife will typically reward you for playing stealthier because you could take a couple of hits before, you die. Another question I predict is what situation would each knife be better in terms of enemy team composition? Well, if you're playing against many pyros, typically I would say it would be better to use the kunai if you can get a backstab before going down, because then you could at least get another one because of the overheal mechanic. And if the team doesn't have many paranoid pyros, then, well, go for the stock knife. Or what about which knife has more versatility in terms of combat scenarios? Well, this all depends on whether you can get a backstab or not. If you don't already have a backstab so you don't get the overheal, then I would say the knife could be better for most situations. Because personally, I would imagine it would be worse to go into a fight with 70 HP. But again, it comes down to if you know how you can get a successful backstab every life, then I would say it would be better to use the kunai. Is that since this debate has been going on for a long time, it probably means these weapons are really similar. Like, yes, they have their ups and downs, mostly the kunai, but it really depends on how you play them and what your skill level is and all of that. Like, if you're a good spy player, you could use both of them and they would both be effective for you. If you're bad at spy, then, well, both knives are going to be very difficult to use for you. So really it comes down to a skill thing. If you could play with both knives, go for it, right? Stock honestly has its ups and downs, as does the kunai, but like, it's a lot of fun just to play spy. So I suggest you go ahead and give it a try and see which one you like more. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. I hope I didn't piss anyone off, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.